the most dominant player of all time. Top 10 player, top 7, top 8, and I respect and love the heck out of Shaq, but sometimes he has the most casual takes. The claim that no one is scared of LeBron is something that I've been hearing for 10 years now, and this whole thing about we're done with the 90s, it's literally a rebuttal to everything LeBron has faced for 10 years, about he's weak, he wouldn't survive the 90s, all those things. Shaq goes back and forth on who he thinks the GOAT, what his real opinions are on these situations. And now, going after LeBron like this, I got to challenge it. Brad Stevens hated playing against LeBron. And after LeBron beat them in 2018 in Game 7, he was like, we played against the best player in the world. He dropped 35 on us. We had nothing to answer for it. Just last night, a player sees LeBron and while he was going for a layup and just trips out of fear that he's getting blocked. Like, this is like 38, 39-year-old LeBron. Perkins said that in 2013, 2012, when they were facing LeBron, that he was so scared of LeBron, so terrified of losing to him, he would pray that he would tear his ACL. He would pray to God LeBron would get hurt. And we all know the Toronto jokes, the LeBronto jokes, but I don't think enough people remember how absolutely absurd that was. They almost lost to like the 4th-seeded Pacers, who were supposed to be in a rebuild that year. They almost lost. They took them to Game 7. It was extremely close. And Toronto was incredible that year. They were the 1st seed in the East in a year where Boston had 50-plus wins. But Toronto came in, and since the Cavs were weaker without Kyrie, since their moves at the trade deadline really stopped working towards the end of the year, they looked like it was in their hands. And LeBron went in and beat him in 4. He swept them. It wasn't close. He killed him. And everyone remembers Game 6 in Boston, that story about LeBron. The whole league was counting him out. Everyone thought, okay, this guy is a generational fraud. It was over. And LeBron came in and absolutely killed him. He killed him. And I'm not saying, oh, well, it's just a great performance, and they were just scared of him. No, they were terrified. Garnett and Paul Pierce were terrified. LeBron put the ball in front of Garnett's face and just laughed. It was just on purely jumpers most of the time. It was unreal, the amount of fear you saw in Boston. He killed him. It ended that era. Draymond Green himself has said the Warriors were scared of him. They had to get KD. They were going to lose to him every time if they didn't have KD. And Draymond is one of LeBron's biggest competitors ever. Everyone remembers in 2016 them getting in that fight. Now they're best friends, but then or now, he knows. He has said they are scared of him. JJ Redick, who went against a 2009 LeBron team that people lately I've been seeing are overrating and underrating how good LeBron really was that year. That statistically, like every advanced metric says that was the greatest playoff run of all time. One of the most valuable seasons of all time. JJ Redick has said they were scared of him. Like, I know Orlando beat him, but that was because of the cast, not because of 2009 LeBron James. And KG and Paul Pierce talk a lot now. KG is actually pretty respectful to a lot of players now, but even they say it. They were built to stop LeBron. That was their goal. That was the purpose, to stop one man. The first super team of the 2000s. If you want to count that Lakers 04 team, yeah. But this was a super team that won. They were built to take down LeBron. And he had him on the ropes in Cleveland. And he ended them in Miami. The last point I'm going to touch on is Paul George has one of the better basketball podcasts out there. And he brought on DeMar DeRozan a while ago. But they spent the whole time talking about LeBron. They talked about how they got shut down in the East. Because both their franchises, until the Raptors got Kawhi and had to give up DeRozan, they had nothing. They were shut down. They were terrified. PG Pacers took LeBron to 7 with the Heat. After that, it was nothing. It was wraps. It was over. And again and again and again, I'm always going to have more examples of this because he's done this for 20 years. And we're in year 21, and Shaq, his former teammate, A guy that has not really dissed him in the media is saying people aren't scared of him. LeBron has legends on podcasts talking about how they couldn't do anything because of him. I don't think people realize how insane that is. Also forgot Norman Powell went on the same podcast and talked about it as well. Also shut down by LeBron and couldn't get anything done. Actually, he still hasn't. He did win with the Raptors in 2019. He's now with the Clippers, and he has admitted they were scared of Braun. I'm just making this to talk about and explain. It is really easy to just make up fake narratives and think, well, we don't really see it as much. With Michael was a myth, or Kobe was a myth. Kobe wasn't in the main social media era, and Michael was not at all. So we can lie and make these things up, but we all know the truth. People were scared. People were downright terrified of him.